You don't help the family, you don't eat with the family. My mother said that like it was routine. No anger. No hesitation. Just a rule she believed in. Hi, I'm Maya Thompson, by the way. And that sentence landed inside the house I bought. Dad kept chewing. Jake didn't look up. Emma adjusted her napkin and smirked. Only one plate was missing on the table. Mine. The lights buzzed above us like they understood everything. I stood there, still carrying my laptop bag. Still wearing the salary that paid their bills. Still invisible in my own kitchen. I bought the house, yet my family acted like I didn't belong in it. Before we start, tell me where you're watching from. Echoes of Life wants to know who's here tonight. When we first moved here, things felt simple. I bought a small 3-bedroom house in the city. I signed every page. I paid every fee. And I brought my parents with me. Liz liked the noise. Tom liked the parks. I liked believing we were a team. I gave them the bigger guest room. I kept the master because I paid the mortgage. I turned the 3rd room into my office for work. No one questioned it then. No one dared. But the old pattern returned slowly. The one from my childhood. Jake stumbled through life. I cleaned the consequences. Mom always said, he struggles more than you. I guess she still believes it. It started with a casual morning comment. Jake and Emma might move here. Mom said softly. I thought she was daydreaming. She wasn't. A week later, they arrived unannounced. Suitcases. Boxes. Smiles like they already lived here. I paid every bill that month. They paid nothing. Not even groceries. Emma made little comments while unpacking. This house is big for one woman. Babies need space, you know. She smiled like it was concern. It wasn't. Then came the request. Or the demand, really. Jake said it first. Emma finished it. We should take your master bedroom. The baby needs room. They said it kindly. Like I owed them softness. Like my adulthood had expired. Like my house was community property. I reminded them about the guest room. Emma frowned with practiced disappointment. No closet. No space. It's unfair to the baby. She said baby like it was a legal argument. Like motherhood outranked ownership. And Mom? She didn't defend me. She didn't pause. She only murmured, Maya, you're strong. They need more help. They weren't asking for space, they were asking for my place. The days after that felt strangely heavy. No shouting. No arguments. Just pressure in the walls. Jake and Emma spread their things everywhere. Shoes by the couch. Boxes stacked by the hallway. Baby magazines on the counter I wiped each night. They spoke about our room like the decision was done. Emma measured corners with her eyes. Jake opened cabinets like he owned them. Mom watched softly, approving every move. Dad stayed quiet as always. I kept working in my office. 8 hours at my desk. 12 tabs open. Deadlines calling. Mortgage autopay buzzing my phone. Every number reminded me. This house wasn't free. This peace wasn't free. I bought all of it. Then came the day everything snapped quietly. I had an on-site meeting. Rare for me. I left early. Locked my room behind me. Told myself nothing could happen in a few hours. I was wrong. When I returned, something felt off. The hallway seemed too crowded. My clothes were piled near the wall. My monitor sat unplugged beside them. My heartbeat changed rhythm. I stepped toward my room carefully. The door was open. Emma stood inside, folding my shirts calmly. She didn't jump. She didn't explain. She just smiled lightly. Oh, Maya. I was finishing up. Your mom said we could start moving in. Her voice was soft. Her eyes were certain. My room behind her looked violated. My scent replaced by theirs. My life repacked without permission. I asked quietly, why are you in my room? Emma shrugged. The baby needs space. You understand. Like understanding was obedience. Like empathy meant surrender. I stepped back, pulled out my phone and called Mom. She answered on the second ring. I didn't wait. Did you tell them they could move into my room? A long silence. Then her voice. Well, I thought it made sense. You have the office. You don't use the master much. My fingers went cold. Not shaking. Just cold. When I hung up, everything felt focused. No yelling. No tears. Just clarity. I walked to my office. Closed the door. Opened my laptop. I searched tenant laws. I printed the deed. I downloaded eviction forms. Page after page slid from the printer. Mortgage statements. utility receipts, grocery totals, all under my name, all proof of what no one respected. By midnight, 2 packets sat on my desk. Jake and Emma, 24 hours. Liz and Tom, 30 days if nothing changed. I placed a pen beside them. The house was silent, finally honest. If my voice didn't matter, my paperwork would speak for me. If this were your family, what would you do? Comment 1 to keep peace quietly. Comment 2 to ask for proof even in public. The next evening felt wrong before it began. I opened the fridge after work. It was almost empty. Everything I'd bought 2 days earlier was gone. The freezer looked raided too. Only ice remained. I stood there quietly, counting receipts in my mind. Mom walked in without meeting my eyes. She set 4 plates on the table. 1 for Dad, 1 for Jake, 1 for Emma, 1 for herself. She didn't make mine. I waited, hoping it was an oversight. It wasn't. She sat down slowly and said, "You don't help the family. You don't eat with the family." Her tone was calm, almost rehearsed. Jake smirked. Emma spooned food carefully, like royalty. I closed the fridge gently. No slam. No scene. I walked to my office and opened the drawer. 2 eviction packets waited inside. The paper felt heavier than last night. Maybe naming the truth always weighs something. I carried them back to the dining room. Everyone kept eating. No one paused. Their forks clicked like a metronome. I set the first packet before my parents. Then the second before Jake and Emma. No speech. Just paper. Jake froze first. "What the hell is this?" His voice cracked louder than the TV. I answered calmly. "Your notice. You have 24 hours to leave." Emma gasped. Her hand touched her stomach dramatically. "I'm pregnant, Maya." Her voice trembled like a tactic. I didn't flinch. I opened the folder under my arm. Mortgage statements. Printed in color. 12 months. Every payment under my name. Then utility bills. Internet. Groceries. I placed each sheet on the table. "We all live here," I said softly. "Only one of us pays here." Mom pushed the papers away. "You can't do this, honey. He's your brother." Her voice cracked. Old loyalty trying to survive new facts. I met her eyes. I already did. The clock started yesterday. Dad looked down at the table. He didn't disagree. He didn't defend her. He just understood. Jake stood, fists tight. "You're choosing money over family." I shook my head once. "No, I'm choosing respect over exploitation." Emma started crying. Jake started pacing. Mom whispered Jake's name helplessly. No one spoke to me. The house felt suspended for a moment. Heavy. Exposed. Like every wall finally heard the truth. I stepped back from the table. This is not revenge. This is a boundary. No shouting followed. Only silence. Long. Sharp. Final. They looked at the papers again. Pregnancy couldn't erase them. History couldn't override them. Family couldn't outvote them. They'd counted on my guilt for years. They never counted on my evidence. The house felt unnaturally calm the next morning. No footsteps. No whispers. Just quiet air learning new rules. I woke early without meaning to. My mind knew a deadline was coming. 24 hours. Jake and Emma had 24 hours. I made coffee slowly. The kitchen finally felt neutral. My father walked in with tired eyes. He poured his own cup. He rarely did that before. He sat across from me quietly. "They're leaving today," he said softly. No anger. No accusation. Just truth settling between us. A motel for now. They'll figure something out. I nodded once. Compassion flickered, but boundaries held firm. By noon I heard boxes shifting. Closet doors opening. Zippers catching fabric. Emma's soft crying traveled down the hallway. Jake muttered curses under his breath. I stayed in my office intentionally. I wasn't avoiding them. I was respecting myself. A firm knock came anyway. I opened the door slowly. Jake stood there, jaw tight. "So this is it?" he asked bitterly. "You're actually doing this?" I kept my voice level. "I gave you a choice yesterday." He scoffed, shaking his head. "We're family, Maya. Family sacrifices." I met his stare calmly. "I sacrificed for years. You contributed nothing. Respect isn't optional here." He had no comeback. Only anger. Only entitlement losing its grip. He turned away wordlessly. Minutes later, their car started outside. I heard Emma crying again. I didn't chase them. I didn't watch them leave. Some goodbyes are healthier unseen. Evening arrived with a different silence. Not hostile. Not heavy. Just new. Mom knocked on my door timidly. A gesture she never used before. She sat on my bed nervously. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered. "I just thought Jake needed more help." I nodded slowly. Needing help doesn't erase my worth. Mom swallowed hard. "I know that now." I opened the folder beside me. The household agreement lay inside. Clear. Simple. Fair. A small monthly contribution. Respect for my space. No guests without consent. No decisions without discussion. Behind it sat a one-page budget. Their column stayed painfully empty. For once, the numbers defended me. I placed a pen on top gently. "This lets us stay a family," I said quietly, without turning me into a villain or an ATM. Mom stared at the paper a long time. Her eyes softened. Her breath steadied. Finally, she picked up the pen. Dad joined us silently. He read every line carefully. He nodded at each rule. For the first time in years, I felt like an adult in my own home. For once, I wasn't the dutiful daughter. I was the landlord setting terms. The house grew quieter in the weeks that followed. Not tense, not hostile, just finally honest. Mom and Dad moved differently now. They knocked before entering rooms. They asked before inviting anyone over. They cleaned without reminders. Little things, but they mattered. Respect often hides inside small actions. The household agreement stayed on the fridge. Signed. Dated. Underlined. Dad set up automatic transfers for their part. It wasn't much, but it wasn't nothing. For the first time, I wasn't carrying everyone alone. I still helped them, of course. Rides to appointments. Heavy groceries. Fixing the TV remote again. But help felt chosen now. Not demanded. Not assumed. Not the price of being the strong one. Jake texted once. A short message. "Can you loan us something?" Emma's struggling. Old guilt tried to rise. Old habits tried to whisper. But I answered differently this time. I sent job listings. Community programs. $0. Full clarity. Some nights I sat in the master bedroom quietly. Just breathing. Just letting the silence feel earned. I realized I didn't want revenge. I wanted recognition. I wanted adulthood without penalties. I wanted family without sacrifice being automatic. Mom apologized again one evening. No excuses. No tears. Just a tired truth. "You deserved better boundaries, Maya." I nodded gently. We all did. We weren't perfect after that. But we were honest. And honesty was enough to build something new. Something less painful. Something real. I didn't lose my family. I lost a version of them that depended on my silence. The version that stayed learned how to respect my no. And strangely, that made us closer. I bought a house for my family, but that day I finally owned my life. If this touched something familiar, tap like, share it with someone carrying quiet burdens, and subscribe to join us for the next story on Echoes of Life.